Thanks for stopping by, man. How are you? And it's exciting to talk to you because you got a new thing, a lot of new projects coming up as a Christian artist, and I appreciate you coming on to share your story.
Thanks, man. Great to be here.
All right, so kind of talk about, did you always want to be a recording artist? Was this something growing up you wanted to do?
Oh man, not really. I feel like I wanted to be a Jedi first, and then didn't get the Force, so that was rough. And then I kind of wanted. I was all over the place. Wanted to be, CIA agent. Wanted to be president of the United States. Wanted to be inventor or whatever. But I remember in high school, I kind of, I had a pipe dream. I was like, I'll probably start a business, and you go like the entrepreneur route. But like, I kind of was like, it'd be really cool to like be the next Shawn Mendes, or be like
Yeah.
one of these artists that broke through on the internet and that kind of thing. And so I played music a lot, and then in high school is when I really started living for the Lord and just felt like I gave my life over to Him. And so then I was like, man, I just want to do something in ministry. I just want to do something to bring people to Jesus. And I didn't know that'd be music until a few years later. I kind of was just like, Lord, I don't know if that's going to be preaching. I don't know if that's going to be as a missionary somewhere, wherever it might be, but I just want to do something to bring people to the Lord.
Okay. Well, and to get to the route you are now, that's some work, right? Anyone that just says, "Hey, I'm going to go do this," right? The Christian music industry is not the easiest industry still, right? To get out and break out and be get known, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely there's a lot of factors involved. So I think like, I always tell people, I'm like, you gotta have hard work. Like you definitely gotta you gotta work hard. You gotta put in work to really know your craft, to know like what you're trying to sound like, what you're trying to write, how to play instruments, how to play live, all kind of stuff. You gotta have some level of natural talent, definitely helps. And then I mean, as a Christian, it's like you also just have to like the Lord. You need the Lord. Like you can have great talent and even a lot of hard work and still not break through. And I think so much of it is like doors that the Lord opens or not, and really like discerning, is this your call or not? Is this just something you're excited about, but it's actually not what the Lord has for you, or is this actually something that the Lord has for you? Because if it is, then He's going to open the right doors.
So did you think it would you be breakthrough, like getting to the level that you're growing and developing when you first started in this?
Yeah, I mean, I think the pace at which things has grown is definitely a surprise. I don't think I would have expected things to skyrocket the way that they did. I had a headline tour, my first ever headline tour, this past spring, and that was like a year prior to that, I was on my first ever tour. I had like done two tours total, and then I'm on, third tour ever is a headline tour. So like that kind of thing is just is shocking. It's
Yeah.
surprising. You don't really expect it, but also just really cool to see when it happens.
So how like that's the thing. You said from starting to then headline. What do you think your audience has, built that fan following that has led you to that? You
Yeah.
said the Lord for sure, but let's talk about just your talent alone or just the right place, right time, break in certain ways. And it's so weird in business and entrepreneurship, music, anything in the entertainment industry. You never know when that shot comes. And you're like,
Yeah.
holy cow, I better take it and grab it by the horns.
I mean, I think so much of it was like the viral success of Counting My Blessings. I think it going number one on radio and then, doing a lot on social media and just being this huge song that people are connecting with was like a big factor. So, I mean, you can be as fun a person or, have a great voice as possible, but if people aren't connecting with the song, they're really not gonna, it's gonna be a lot harder to get a headline tour or, to get some momentum there. So
Wow.
I think like people connecting with the song is like huge. And then I do think, I try to stay pretty active on socials. And I think in today's day and age, that's part of the
Huge.
game, you know? And so I think when people like feel connected to you on socials and like they see, they feel connected to the message that you're trying to carry or to what you're trying to do and they feel a part of that, I think there also is like a big factor in wanting to come on a headline tour, wanting to listen to your music or whatever it might be.
I'm going to tell you, it's so true. Social media and a lot of artists still aren't getting it. And you got it, but you understood you weren't going to force it. That's, I'll give you an example of a client that's, helping protect men in need. This organization she's with, and she's a semi celebrity, but never been on TikTok before. One of her messages is going viral right now. It's still getting views, not to the level of millions, but TikTok how it will work.
Yeah.
And it's like you have the audience, they're interested. It's a game changer. So tell me the story. I want to know the story because again, you're out there doing music. You get number one. How shocked were you? What kind of thing? Like the first time I saw a virality thing was when I interviewed a country music star that passed away 1 week later after I had her on the show. And they
Wow.
picked up my thing, and everyone's texting me, emailing me, and saying, "Oh, they're playing your show." What?
That's
And
crazy.
it was like, but not to a level to you. But I mean, it was playing on they were playing my interview on country music stations, mentioned me everywhere. I'm like, and I wasn't known in that at that point. So that
Yeah.
was probably my story of it. But I've seen so many different things in my entrepreneur days or as a professional wrestler days where I'm sitting here doing just something, and then before you know it, I'm sitting here and saying, "Wow, I'm on a different stage."
Yeah. I mean, I think that was like it was crazy because the song went viral in Brazil first. So I was actually on my honeymoon, and all of a sudden I'm getting all these texts and people reaching out to me like, "Hey, your song's like blowing up in Brazil." And I think it was kind of a social thing, but it really translated quickly to streams and streaming numbers shot up, and everyone in Brazil like knew this song, and then like they had
Wow.
they had a Portuguese cover sung by this Brazilian person there, and then that version like went even bigger. It's got like over 200 million on YouTube alone, which is nuts. Um, so just like crazy stuff like that that kind of took off, and then it went number one on radio not too long after that. So I feel like for me it was kind of just like this, man, God, what are you doing? Like this is crazy. Um, and also like I don't know, I feel like humbling because it also is kind of like you put in hard work, you do these things, but again, you never quite know what's gonna happen with it if people are gonna resonate with it. But it puts you on this new level, and I think it honestly just kind of gave me in terms of like, did it change you? Did it like how did it change your life? I mean, for me, I feel like
No,
it just kind of
one time, so you got to keep going. That's the thing. Once you hit on top once,
like
you got to figure out how to do it again. So, like, I have you on today's show. I have Kevin Sorbo on today's show. Well, I'm not going to have two people that have done some amazing things in one day every day on the show. So, I have to constantly go to my next level and say, okay, where am I stepping it up the next to have another major celebrity or have this other person or have this different thing or you get a big sale. So, it's constant always, hey, just because this happened, there's more to come.
right. And I think that's just the responsibility factor. Like um you feel responsibility. I think for me it's been more like responsibility to like steward what's been entrusted. It's like, man, like to whom much is given, much is expected. And so it's like, God, you've given me all these things, you've given me a brand new audience, you've given me this new platform. Like I want to make sure that I'm stewarding it to the absolute best of my ability. And also just staying faithful. It's like I can't always control the outcome, but I can always control like what the offering, like what I'm giving to the Lord. And so I want to like make sure that I don't just, rest on the success of counting my blessings and be like, all right, cool, did it. Now I'm done. you know, but also I'm like I know that not everything is going to do what kind of my blessings did in the same way, and it's just like that there's just such a craziness around that song and the virality for it, whatever. It's like if I set all my expectations to be that, I'm just gonna be disappointed. But at the same time, I need to make sure that I'm
Yeah.
stewarding what God's given me and making sure I'm still doing like putting in the work.
You need a Dove Award next. That's what you set yourself for, right? Something like you got to look at those things, right? Am I on the right track? That's where you said it. Versus everyone's going to hit number one and millions. It's how am I going to take this to make this a career, right?
Yeah,
Because this was probably that turning point. Okay, now I have to change things. And
yeah, and
you ask why did it happen at this time in this place? It's really a question I've asked myself in my life at times.
yeah, and I think that's it. It's like, man, God, like what's next for me, and how can I be as faithful as I can with it, and how can I impact the people that I want to impact with it all.
All right, so tell us about your latest music coming up.
Yeah, so I just came with an album on July 11th, first debut album, which is awesome to kind of finally have that out. It's been, honestly, kind of years in the making with some of these songs and the whole process of getting it together. So fun having that out, and a lot of new songs out there that are cool to see people resonating with them already, and you know what's going on there.
And that's the key. And I'm glad that you're looking at it like, okay, once you have these opportunities, it's got to keep going. So, what is your ultimate goal as a musician, and like rewards wise? Not looking at what I know God has a plan, but tell me specifically, where do you want to see yourself as an artist?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would love to be able to play to and impact as many people as possible. So, like for me, like awards are cool, but also it's just kind of like, all right, an award. Like I know people have won awards, and they're like, it really isn't. It's like it's an award. It's cool for a moment, and it kind of moves on. So I think for me, it's more like I want to see myself in places like playing the big shows to be able to impact big people, playing around the world to be able to impact people there. And, I want to see my music reach beyond just like the Christian sphere, but like have people brought to who aren't Christian come into Christianity or come into the faith through my music. Like I think those types of things are the things that excite me.
It sounds like it. And that's the thing. You look at yourself in the mirror and you say to yourself, okay, this is where I'm going. I see what you're saying. You want to impact as many people. Is there an artist that now you're trying to get some mentorship from because of that big breakthrough song that has
Yeah, I
reached
mean,
out to you or built, kind of mentoring you a little bit?
I've always like, I think this the Christian music industry is super supportive and everyone's like very encouraging of one another, which is really cool. I don't know. I've yet to kind of see like a mentoring kind of thing take place. I would love it. And I have like friends who I know I can go to with questions or, just process stuff with. Um, so I think that is something that I am on the lookout for a little bit just to see like, hey, if any opportunities come up. And even, I'm always looking at opportunities too to like, how can I take what I'm learning and bless other people with that? So I've even talked about later this year, like launching some kind of um, like coaching or like course type thing where I can help, mentor other people. Obviously I still have so much room to grow, but I think honestly some of the hardest thing is just launching. Like rockets use what most of their fuel just to get to get out of orbit. And I feel like I think that I hear from a lot of people who are just really trying to figure out how to make this career, how to launch a song, how to launch whatever. And so I've talked about even maybe trying to do that in the future too.
Do you have some touring coming up too?
Yeah, I'm actually going on tour. The second part, I'm doing like a part two to the spring this fall, all along the East Coast. So I'm really pumped for that. It's a little bit longer than before, and we're making it a little bit bigger than before. But I'm really excited to kind of continue to keep growing this thing.
You think another song is going to take off once this album comes out? You'll see. That's the
I
hope.
know. I guess we'll see. I mean, we had, there was another song that went one, which is really cool. Running Back to You went number one on radio. And then we just sent Won't Start Now to radio. So that could be the third one. We'll see if it ends up happening. And then, yeah, just seeing these songs impact on streaming and socials is fun too.
All right. We appreciate it, sir. Thanks again. Best place people can follow you. Where can they go?
Instagram, TikTok, wherever. Just look up Seth. I'm pretty much the only one. So check it out.
All right. Appreciate it, sir.